Hey everyone, today on Cooking with Override, we're gonna be cooking spicy maple chicken with some mashed sweet potatoes and steamed broccoli.
Outside of the steak and on our post-workout.
All right, so I'm gonna wash my potatoes. All right, first step is we're gonna be peeling and dicing up our sweet potatoes. All right guys, pro tip, sweet potatoes tend to be really tough to chop. So I like to just toss my sweet potatoes in the microwave for 30-45 seconds. Makes it so much easier to chop up, makes it go a lot faster. So we're just gonna dice our sweet potato up into some small chunks. We're gonna be boiling it and mashing it. So just give yourself some rough pieces here. You don't have to be super precise on this. It's just gonna help speed up the time that it takes to boil the potatoes. So potatoes are just gonna go in a medium-sized bowl. I'm going to just make sure I put enough water in here to cover the potatoes. And we're just gonna turn this on. We're gonna bring them to a boil. We're gonna let them boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right guys, next we're gonna be making our breading for our chicken. So we're gonna grab a medium-sized bowl. I always say bigger is a little bit better. This way you can stir things in without making a mess. We're gonna be doing a half cup of panko. We're gonna do a half a teaspoon of paprika, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of onion powder. And then we're gonna be using a little bit of butter and some olive oil to kind of get everything to stick together. So first is gonna be a tablespoon of butter. I'm gonna place that in the bowl, and then I'm gonna just microwave quickly, 15-20 seconds, just to let that butter melt. Next is gonna be panko. We're gonna go half cup of panko breadcrumbs, and we're gonna stir that in to our melted butter. Next, we're gonna go equal parts paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. I'm gonna do a half teaspoon of each. Last, I'm gonna add in a small splash of olive oil and a big pinch of salt. And then we're just gonna stir and mix everything together till we get a nice uniform mixture. All right, for the chicken, we're gonna set our oven to 425. So we're gonna head over and preheat the oven. All right, next we're gonna take our chicken, we're gonna place it on a cooking sheet. So first thing, I'm just gonna spread a little olive oil, make sure nothing sticks. And we're gonna place our chicken on our pan. All right, so one of the secret ingredients to this dish, we're gonna place a thin layer of Greek yogurt on top of our chicken. And that's gonna be the ingredient that's gonna help the breadcrumbs stick to the chicken. All right, so we're just gonna start. I'm gonna place some dollops of Greek yogurt on each piece of chicken. Again, it's important, make sure, try not to have the spoon touch the chicken and then go back into the Greek yogurt. You don't want any of that stuff happening. All right, I'm gonna just use the back side of the spoon. I'm gonna spread out the Greek yogurt to give ourselves a nice layer. All right, so we got the Greek yogurt on the chicken. Next, I'm just gonna place a good amount or a thick layer of our breadcrumbs on each piece of chicken. Again, don't be bashful on this. And I'm just gonna spread it out with the back side of my fork. We're just gonna be putting breadcrumbs on one side of the chicken here. It saves you guys a few extra carbs, and it ends up coming out great. A little bit less mess. You don't have to get your hands all nasty. Okay, and here we have it. Chicken's ready to go in the oven. We're gonna go 12 to 15 minutes at 425. These guys are pretty thin, so I'm gonna make sure I take a peek at 12 minutes and see how it is. All right, next step is gonna just be to steam some broccoli. So I'm just using a bag of frozen broccoli. I'm gonna empty it into a big pan. And then I'm just gonna add a little toss of water here so we can let these steam. While everything's cooking, in the meantime, we're just gonna make a quick little bit of spicy maple syrup. So just gonna put a couple tablespoons of syrup into a container. And then we're gonna season to taste with some crushed red pepper flakes. you like it spicy, go a little bit heavier. Not so spicy, keep it a little bit on the lighter side. And we're just gonna give that a quick stir. And you can just set this aside. We're gonna use this to baste on top of the chicken when it gets out of the oven. All right, so I'm just gonna give my potatoes a quick check with a fork. As long as they seem pretty soft, that should be good to go. I'm gonna take them, drain the water, and then we're gonna mash them up. All right, to give the sweet potatoes a little extra flavor, I'm gonna put a little dab of maple syrup. Nothing too crazy, just a tiny bit. Some butter. Do about a tablespoon of butter. And a small little dab of Greek yogurt. Look at that. All right, so chicken's just out of the oven. It's important, we're gonna let it rest. I'm also gonna drizzle my spicy maple syrup. And there you have it, spicy maple chicken, some mashed sweet potatoes, and some broccoli. Enjoy.